Shalom la b'chayim shal yasha'Allah. Peace be to the elect of the nation of Israel. Welcome la Eloheinu Yahweh B'Shem Yashai B'Shem Kakadash. All praises to our power Yahweh B'Shem Yashai B'Shem Kakadash, which Yahweh is a true, almighty, and powerful name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, and His only begotten Son's name is Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. By Hashem, meaning in the name, Echad meaning spirit, Kodash is holy, which I uttered in the Paleo Hebrew language that has been returned back onto the Hebrew Israelites, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans, and of course those who've been scattered across the four winds, whom are like into the speckled bird, which of course our people have been scattered, so some of our people may look like the heathen. So you say shalom to the elect of you, which are the chosen of the chosen nation, which is Yasharallah, Israel, whom are allotted or predestined for salvation. That, of course, is the 144,000 prophets, Hanabayayim, and of course, rest of the number, the numeral multitude, which is the 1/3, which is men, women, and children, which will hearken unto the words of the prophets, which the prophets are ambassadors for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, speaking the word, giving you the warning, so you can take heed and be delivered if you are to be part of that elect number. So you say shalom, wa shenya kabad la shalayachim now was a konyam now shalayasha Allah, which that said shenya meaning double, kabad is honor, Lash is 2, Shalayachim, Nawa is our apostles, was is and, Zechonium, Nawa is our elders. You can say of Great Millstone is Shal Gadwala Rakub, or Gadwala Rakub, which Gadwala Rakub means Great Millstone. Shalom, of course, the elect. Shalom la Bachayarim of the nation of Israel. Shemiyah Maf, my name is Amafa from the Great Millstone Plaintables camp located here in the city of Philadelphia. Coming again with another week lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shemiyah Shai, which we have it here. It's a big deal. Trump takes a giant leap in Space Command launch. I must note that this lesson was already done before, but due to Esau and Satan working on the computer, it didn't save any audio, or none of the audio was actually captured. So I have to redo it. So we're going to redo it in the best of my memory through, of course, the Spirit. It reads here, it says that it's one step for man, one giant leap of Trump came. Donald Trump made a short journey on Thursday from Oval Office to the White House Rose Garden, then promised to unleash an army of space warriors to infinity and beyond. It is a hot sunshine of the dog days, August. The U.S. President hosted a ceremony for the creation of the Space Command within the military, or strictly speaking, the recreation of Space Command, because they already had a Space Force pretty much. It says its previous incarnation was terminated in 2002. So this is just more so a formal introduction of this, as it says, a part of government restructuring. It's a big deal. Trump insisted building space as the next war-fighting domain. As domain goes into territory, which there's going to be a Malchama ba Shemayim in the heavens, or in heaven, which when you go into the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter, Revelation 12 and 7, it goes into which the territory of this war in heaven is written of here in the scriptures. It says here, and there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. The dragon, of course, is Esau, and the dragon fought with his angels. And you have Esau and the rest of the heathen nations, which you're going to go into a space force. let's go into it. Back to the article, which it reads here. Excuse me. It says a little dream he added. It's about space, drawn out the soon. Trump has who shown little appetite for foreign wars. I must note that foreign means also alien, okay, which the Esau Edom, he deems the chariots of Israel, which are aerial phenomenons in his current terminology, previously known as unidentified flying objects or UFOs. This is going to be the war, a foreign wars that is speaking of. If you are in a spiritual knowing or have knowledge to know, or of the science, okay, of which science means knowledge of what he's actually speaking of and what the scriptures are speaking of. It says here, are tackling climate change does not seem concerning about the extraterrestrial threats. It says the dangers to our country constantly evolve, and so much must we. He said, no, those who wish to do harm to the United States to seek to challenge us in the ultimate high ground of space. It's going to be a whole different ball game. Of course, you're going to have this war in heaven, which Yahushua is going to come back, and in his second coming, he's going to come with the holy hosts of the angels. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 47 and 3. It reads, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, which is their sins of the Edomites. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. He's coming back as a angelic power. I must know a powerhouse at that. Unbeatable. Okay, so he's not going to meet thee as a man. Low man. And of course, basically he came in the flesh. Yahushua came in the flesh, which you read, see if that in Colossians or Hebrews, I have to remember, but he came in the flesh, simple as that. But for the sake of time, I'm just gonna speed through this lesson, go to the precepts, and go from there. This is going to be the book of Matthew 24. Or actually, I'm going to bring out Revelation chapter 1 and I believe it's 7. Revelation 1 and 7, it reads here, behold, he cometh with clothes, and every eye shall see him, and also them that pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so Amen. And cometh with clothes. So this is Yahushua. Okay, he's gonna come with clothes, which if you get the understanding of that, you of course you go through thy precepts to get the understanding. Which you go to Psalms 104 and verse 3, it says, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot. Which a chariot is a vehicle, which you go into Hebrew, you have Rakab, or you have here Rakawab, okay, which is a vehicle. See, a vehicle as written on. So these are the vessels in which the angels, the Hamala'aka Yum, ride in, which Yahushua will be in a ginormous mountain-sized chariot, which we're going to show you that in the book of Esdras, which the book of the Apocrypha is deemed not canon by Esau Edom, the wicked. But we know it, of course, is divinely inspired. It is a part of the scriptures because it links up with the Scriptures are what many people know as the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Those books, which I believe is about, if I'm not mistaken, the Prophetica includes about, if I'm not mistaken, 15 books. Starting with, I believe, the book of Esdras and going and ending with the book of Maccabees, the second book of Maccabees, that is. They're all canon. They're all part of the scriptures. And who can trust the words of the devil at all, who's a deceiver? Esau, Edom, who wants to leave you, of course, dark, in gross darkness and ignorance. When all the scriptures, the prophets have the understanding of what the scriptures actually mean. We still need to know that Yahushua is coming back. Because why would they invent a space force, a space command, a sixth branch of the military, which we're going to go into? It says the space command's operations are expected to enable satellite-based navigation and communication for troops in the field, providing warning of missile launches abroad and defending against disruption by Chinese and Russian anti-satellite weapons. Trump, wearing a navy suit and white tie and red tie-dye Babylonian, that is, did not promise to boldly go, but rather to boldly deter aggression and outpace America's rivals by far. He promised that the Space Force, celebrated by supporters on hats of t-shirts, but lampooned by critics and comedians, will soon follow. Space Com will soon be followed. Very important, but by the establishment of the United States Space Force as the sixth branch of the United States Armed Forces, which, when you go into that, that includes, you see here, the sixth branch will join the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard as a distinct service, which it'll be unlike the rest, but obviously it'll be a service. It'll be part of the military. It says here that the Space Force will organize, train, equip SpaceCom's mission. Their mission is going to be to go against the angels. Simple as that. That's why they have a 24-hour surveillance in the heavens of any activity. So it says House of Senate bill differs on some point. Actually, it says is yet to win approval by Congress, but the House of Senate bills differ on some point. To work to reconcile the two will start after Congress returns to summer recess. Overall, Trump had tone of the less Star Trek Captain Jean Picard and the Darth Vader Trump. As the president says, SpaceCom will ensure that America's dominance in space will never be questioned and never threatened. Because we know the best way to prevent conflict is to prepare for victory. The way to, of course, prepare for what the Lord already has put in your mind is to, of course, declare that you have a Space Force and also build up your arsenal so that you can, of course, do this fight, which is prophesied to happen. I must say. It says Thursday 10-minute ceremony was attended by the Vice President Mike Pence, the Defense Secretary Mark Esper, and the General J. Raymond, who will be served as the first commander of the U.S. Space Command. He currently heads the Space Force Command, which currently deals with the lion's share of the military space operation. Raymond presented Trump with a small memento and said to a pause, on behalf of Space Warfighter, thank you for your leadership. Trump, perhaps feeling closer than he ever before to being emperor of the universe, replied. Now, he's saying emperor of the universe. Of course, you go to that word, emperor means a commander, okay? emperor, going back from the past empire. Okay. Going back to the article. Slock. Wrong article. It says here that Trump, of course, said, "Thank you very much," and he stood by Esper, formally signed documents creating the Spacecom as and Chief Master Sergeant of unfurled the flag of the U.S. Space Command, depicting American eagle soaring above the Earth. Right, of course, that's Book of Obadiah. And that sign of the eagle is a sign of the Edomites, Esau, Edom, a sign of the Romans, which these Edomites were Romans. Okay, or took over the nationality of the original Romans, which are Japhetic. So-called Polynesians, so-called Pacific Islanders, so-called Etruscans. Obadiah 1 and 3, it says, "The pride of thine heart has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who will bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence I will bring thee down, saith the Lord." They went, of course, with their different Apollo missions back in the, what's that? Apollo missions back in the 1970s. That, of course, marked the end of this rulership. Okay. Meaning that they're going to go down, really. That's what basically is. It marked the coming down of Esau, Edom. Because he went up, of course, there into outer space. He didn't go to the moon, but he went, of course, in the Shemayim and set up nests, which, when you go into the word nest, go back to Quan, which is a dwelling. These space stations and such. Which he wants to, of course, escape the nuclear destruction. That's what Esau, Edom wants to do. But he doesn't know that, or he does know that he's just going to be rounded up first for slavery. And then, as we're going to hunt them down from all of the clefts of the rocks. Let me see if I can find a precept. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16:16. "Behold, I will send for many fishers, said the Lord Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And after I will send many hunters. I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks." And we're currently fishers of men, but the word we fish for the elect, give them the bait, which is the word. They hear it, sheep hear his voice of the Lord, and of course they get sealed, have that the wah, which they were predestined anyway, and will come into truth, believe, and be delivered. It's going to be a time when they, of course, the elect prophets are going to get spiritual power. We're going to be changed at the moment, at the twinkling of an eye, the last trump. We're going to be made hunters. We're going to, of course, fish out these Edomites. You know, they're going to be in their little space retreats, their doomsday bunkers and such too. Okay, as you see, Esau has weaponized space. So, going back to the wheat article. That's basically the end of it. I'm just going to go to reading this Revelation Revelation chapter 12, 7 again. And then we'll go back to the Apocrypha, or go to the Apocrypha. Revelations 12 and 7. And there was a war in heaven. Okay, which you go into the Hebrew, it speaks of, which I brought it in a class lesson, Malchama, which has a war, of battle in Hebrew, Shemayim, which I'm gonna see if I can just quickly retrieve. Give me a wee moment. Isn't it going to be on the screen? It will be just verbalized. So it reads, it says, Wa the haya ma la, or malchama, which malchama is a battle, alright, or war, ba shemayim, which I mean in ba and shemayim is pertaining to the waters, which is heaven, right? It says Ma'aka Allah wa Mala'aka Yahwa, which that is Michael, which is Ma'ya Ka'ala, which I believe that means like the power, or like or as the power, or of the power. I believe when you go into that breakdown, Slacky, if I'm not 100%, but it says Wa Mala'aka Yahwa, which that means in. Mala'aka is angel, Yah and Wa has basically goes down to in his angels, okay? And it says, they just continue on in the Hebrew, which I'm just going to leave that at that. It goes on, it says, and his angel fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. And you have Esau and the dragon. The rest of these other heathen nations was going to be teamed up. We're going to fight the angels in the heavens. Okay? Simple as that. Yahweh Shai will be amongst them. Which we're going to the account in the Apocrypha. Second Esdras chapter 13 and 3, it says, and I behold and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, and when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him, and whensoever the voice went out of his voice, all they burned that he heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. It's going to go into this. Basically, I believe it's going into concentrate fire that chariots shoot out of it, which you read in Habakkuk. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heavens to subdue the man that came out of the sea, which that's going to be, you have Esau and the rest of it with his space force, space com, and the rest of his, it'd be as it's described as angels and such, which that'd be these different heathen nations with their different air force and air ability, commands and such. Okay. It says, but I beheld, and lo, and he graved himself a great mountain, which is to be described as a huge chariot, so-called aerial phenomenon, so-called UFO, and flew up upon it. And it says, verse 7, but I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven and I could not. He's just basically describing that it was so huge that you couldn't see the end of it. It was that big. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they that were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid and durst fight. So they're gonna have the spirit to fight. Of course, the angels, Yahweh Shai, Micah Allah and such, Micah Allah, rest of the angels. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude came, and neither lifted up his hand nor held sword nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it has been a blast of ash or fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. Which, you go to the book of Habakkuk, and it explains this. Let's see if this is a precept. No. So this is Habakkuk 3 and 4. It says, and his brightness was as the light, and had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. Now you go into this. Yod. Let me see. He had horns. Let me see. This doesn't. I know it goes into it. Alright, so we got a ray of light. Okay. I usually go and get it in the my sword. That goes in, but this goes into it. Basically, the concentrated fire. All right, simply that shoots from the chariots. Okay. Before him went the pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. Okay, that's basically it. What I'm bringing out in there. So go back to Revelation 12, and also going back to that second Esdras, and the reason it says here, verse 11, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude, which were prepared to fight, which they are preparing to fight, as you can see. You have it. It was written in an article, and against whom anybody who, of course, are threatening them, and burned them up every one, so that upon the sudden of the innumerable multitude nothing was perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So they're going to be destroyed. Simple as that. By Yahweh Shai, his chariots. Simple as that. Concentrated, burned them to powder. Afterward, I saw the same man come down from the mountain and call unto him another peaceable multitude. That goes into something else. Now, going back to Revelation, the 12th chapter. And it says here in verse 8, and prevailed not. So you said you had that war in heaven, which should be Esau and the rest of the nations fighting against, of course, Yahweh Shai, Micah Allah, the rest of the hosts of the angels. Okay. it says, and prevailed not, neither was their face found any more in heaven. They're going to be destroyed, as it explained in the second Esdras 13 chapter. And a great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. So that goes to show you, Esau is the devil. He is Satan. He's that man. He's wicked. Alright, he is the physical counterpart for the spiritual demon Satan. He was cast out into the earth. He was destroyed. And his angels were cast out with him. They were destroyed. Okay, simple as that. That's the understanding on that scripture about the war in heaven. Because there's false interpretation given by these pseudo churches out there, which spit out nothing but wise fables, cunning fables and such, which they don't have the oil, they don't have the understanding of the scriptures. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom. As you can see, there's a space force being created, already been created, just being formally introduced to you. A space command launch. Shalom to the elect. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Shalom.